Hey everybody, welcome to day 10 of our Kratom Addiction and Recovery Daily Devotional series. Today we're going to be back in Exodus and it's going to be chapter 23, verse 25. Worship the Lord your God and his blessing will be upon your food and water. He will take away your sickness from among you. So I really like this verse. I really like how it talks about the Lord taking away our sickness and how his blessing is upon us when we are worshiping him. I talked about before the importance and the value of worship and how when we are able to, in our pain and in our sickness and in our sadness, turn that into worship, that it is a huge weapon in our battle against addiction. And this verse, I like how it goes into it further, where it talks about how when we worship the Lord, his blessing will be upon our food and water. And I thought that was really interesting. In my kratom addiction, I shared how much weight I lost. I shared that when I was in the process of healing from it, that I wasn't really able to digest my food and nourish my body properly. And I also wasn't able to hydrate myself when I was in the depths of my addiction. And so I really like how this verse talks about how his blessing is upon our food and our water, because I feel like the importance of that when we focus ourselves, when we focus our attention and our worship upon the Lord, that his blessing is upon us. And when I was able to turn my focus in my addiction towards worship, that's when things started to change in my life, and I was able to slowly heal from my kratom addiction, and I was able to heal my gut, that I wasn't able to digest food or nourish myself. I was able to hydrate my body. So a lot of the things in the word are not literal, a lot of it is, there are deeper meanings to it. There are a lot of parables. There's a lot of imagery that's used in the word. And so when we look at this verse, it may not be, the literal sense that his blessing will literally be in our food and our water. It could take on a deeper meaning as well. So I encourage you to think more about that and think about the different ways that the Lord's blessing could be upon your food and water and life. And the verse ends with, I will take away your sickness from among you. And this is beautiful. When we get into the healing aspects of our relationship with Christ and the healing aspects of the Lord, a lot of it can be taken and used in a way that, I've seen these prosperity gospel approaches where, there's this, praying over people and people being healed miraculously right that moment. And that's possible, that is possible in the Lord, but a lot of times it takes more time than that. So healing itself, it may not be this instantaneous, miraculous thing that is sometimes possible, but it doesn't happen all the time. But it can take on the form of a slow healing process, a slow changing of our minds and our lives. And that's personally what I experienced, where I was able to, over the course of my taper and my final quit, see this recalibration and this recreation that the Lord did in my mind and my body and my life during that time. So I want to encourage you all, and I want to let you know that wherever you're at in your process, that healing is possible. And that when we turn our focus to the Lord, when we turn our focus to worshiping him and to loving him, that it's amazing what kind of changes and what kind of healing follows from that. So I'm thinking about you all today. Sorry, I got the days mixed up. If you're following these daily, you may have noticed that I think I said like day 7 a couple days in a row, and but we're actually on day 10. I realized yesterday as I was posting that I had gotten it mixed up. But yeah, so this is day 10, and if you're following along, I'm so glad to have you. Please let us know how you're doing in the comment section. It's been a really great place for us to check in with each other and encourage and uplift one another, and for me to pray for you and stuff like that. So let us know how you're doing below. As you can probably see in this video, I don't know if you can see it as much. Let me see when I turn this way. We're getting our first snow here in Chicago. There, you can see it. We're getting our first snow here in Chicago, which is kind of cool. I've been waiting for it. So, all right, everybody, I love you, and I will see you on Monday for our next day of our devotional. Bye.